Nature has its own wonderfully weird way of surpassing every human marvel ever made. Every single day, people encounter things that can't be explained. What that statement means can be interpreted in a lot of ways, however. A UFO in the sky is an unexplained phenomenon to most of us, while if you've never seen a pink lake before, that would be a baffling phenomenon as well. And in this video, you're going to see exactly that. So, join us as we're about to unravel 15 bizarre natural events that defy all logic and will leave you questioning the very actuality itself. Number 15. Giant permafrost explosions in Siberia. We all know Siberia is cold. It's a deep frozen wasteland of cold. But few people realize the ground itself can explode. Giant permafrost craters have been appearing in Siberia's Yamal Peninsula. And it's not just unsettling, it's dangerous. These enormous holes are caused when long frozen methane hydrates suddenly thaw due to rising global temperatures. As the permafrost melts, gases build up underground until the pressure becomes too much. Then, boom. The ground erupts, blasting out earth and ice, leaving behind massive craters that seem to appear out of nowhere. Scientists first documented these back in 2014, but the process behind them had likely been building for years. Some craters are over 60 feet deep. They're real-time proof of what climate change can do when it hits geological systems we barely understand. And the more the Earth warms, the more of these deadly explosions we might see. Number 14. Pele's hair lava. All right, now, let's head to Hawaii, a place known for lush forests, jaw-dropping coastlines, and a culture rooted in powerful native legends. But it's not all lays and hula. There's something far more unsettling that happens near a volcano's mouth. Lava isn't just bubbling and boiling below, it becomes something unexpected when launched into the air. When molten droplets collide with wind, they stretch into thin, wispy strands that eerily resemble human hair. It's not just strange, it's disturbing. Locals call them Pele's hair, named after the Hawaiian goddess of fire and volcanoes. This phenomenon shows up in places like Hawaii Volcanoes National Park. These strands might look delicate and beautiful, but they're razor-sharp and formed from cooled glass. So don't let the hair-like appearance fool you. They're dangerous, and touching them is a big mistake. They shimmer like something from a sci-fi tale, but it's real, and it's hot, brittle, and lethal. It's a super perfect reminder that beauty and badness often come hand in hand. Number 13. Blue jets and red sprites. Never heard of them in your life? Well, let's change that. These are real and rare optical events, officially called transient luminous events, and they form in the upper atmosphere above thunderclouds. Red sprites appear as massive red-orange flashes with tendrils trailing behind, while blue jets look like electric cones shooting upward from storm systems. Most people on Earth never see them, but if you're orbiting on the space station, you just might catch the show. In 2017, scientists aboard the ISS recorded 245 blue bursts in just 160 seconds during a single storm. They're fast. Each one lasts just a few milliseconds, and that's what makes them hard to study. They're sparked by lightning discharges and high-voltage chaos in the atmosphere, but even with modern equipment, we're still piecing the puzzle together. These aren't fireworks or weather flukes. They're part of a whole sky system that's still mostly hidden from view, and way cooler than any special effects you'll find on Earth. It's not as cool as Chinese lady robots, but it's rare. Number 12. Saint Elmo's Fire. One of the most eerie natural events you might ever witness is St. Elmo's Fire. But despite the name, it isn't actual fire. It's a glowing, bluish-purple light that appears around tall, pointed objects during intense electrical storms. Think ship masts, church steeples, airplane wings. The air gets so charged with static that molecules around sharp edges start to ionize, creating a steady, ghostly glow. It doesn't flash like lightning. It hums and lingers. Sometimes people even report hearing a faint buzzing or hissing noise along with it. Pilots have described it as dancing on cockpit glass. Sailors have seen it clinging to ropes and rigging. And while it looks alienish, it's entirely atmospheric. There are no spirits or sorcery, just electricity and air chemistry showing off. But when it appears in the middle of a storm or lights up a quiet steeple at night, it's not hard to understand why people once thought it was a sign from the heavens or a warning. Number 11. Fire rainbows. Everyone loves a rainbow and a double one? Well, that's pretty rare. But there's something even more elusive. What's called a fire rainbow. The name sounds dramatic, but it's not actually fire or a rainbow. It's a phenomenon called a circumhorizontal arc. These brilliant bands of color stretch across the sky when sunlight enters high-altitude cirrus clouds full of ice crystals. If the sun hits them at just the right angle, usually when it's 58 degrees or higher above the horizon, something incredible happens. The light hits the crystals, which act like prisms, and the sky lights up like it's been set on fire with streaks of orange, blue, and violet. They're often mistaken for rainbow-colored flames or clouds, but this is a totally separate trick of the light. You'll know it when you see it. It looks like the sky is glowing from within. Rare, fleeting, and absolutely unreal, fire rainbows don't show up often, but when they do, you'll never forget them. Number 10. Horsetail Fall. Next up, let's head to Yosemite National Park for something almost mythical. This already rare waterfall turns into something spectacular for about 2 weeks every February. During that time, when the sun sets at just the right angle and snowmelt is flowing, the water lights up in fiery orange and red. It's called the Firefall, and it looks like actual molten lava pouring off the cliff. The effect is all natural. No filters, no tricks. Just light, timing, and water. Photographers and nature lovers flock to the site for this once-a-year transformation. If you're thinking of planning a trip, mid to late February is your best shot. But know this, everything has to line up. The sun, the sky, the flow, it all has to click. When it does, you get one of the most jaw-dropping views nature has ever pulled off. And when it doesn't, well, you'll still be at Yosemite, so honestly, you're not losing either way. Number 9. Belt of Venus. Let's talk about something you've probably seen without knowing its name. The Belt of Venus. It's that soft pink glow just above the horizon during sunrise or sunset. The effect happens when the Earth's shadow starts climbing up the sky as the sun dips or rises. Below is a band of deep blue. That's the actual shadow of the Earth. Above that is the glow, created when the remaining sunlight scatters in the atmosphere, lighting it up in a gentle rose or peach hue. The contrast between the two layers can be stunning. You're most likely to catch it when the sky is clear and your view is wide, over the sea, across a desert, or looking out from a mountain ridge. It's quiet and easy to miss if you're not paying attention, but once you spot it, you'll never forget it. Number 8. Polar stratospheric clouds. Have you ever spent time just watching clouds roll by? It's easy to spot shapes. Dinosaurs, dragons, whatever your mind sees. Now imagine doing that in northern Scandinavia or Antarctica, where the sky sometimes puts on a next-level performance. That's where you'll find polar stratospheric clouds, also called nacreous clouds. They form in the brutal cold of polar winters, when temperatures drop below -78 degrees Celsius, and are nothing like the fluffy clouds we see every day. Instead, they take shape in the stratosphere, high above the usual weather layer. They're made from water vapor and nitric acid that freeze into ice particles. When the low sun hits them during twilight, they scatter wild pastel colors across the sky. Picture green, pink, gold, and purple gliding over the horizon like shimmering oil. These clouds are absolutely gorgeous, but there's a downside too. They help destroy the ozone layer. So while they're stunning to look at, they're also a chilling reminder of what's shifting in our atmosphere. Number 7. Virga. Here's a weather event that looks normal until you realize it's not. Virga happens when rain or snow starts falling from clouds but never reaches the ground. Instead, it evaporates in mid-air. From a distance, it looks like wispy tails hanging from the bottom of clouds, almost like feathery streaks fading before they hit the earth. This often occurs in dry areas like deserts, where warm air beneath the clouds causes the precipitation to vanish as it falls. It's beautiful, but also a major concern for pilots. That's because virga means strong, unpredictable air currents. These streaks often lead to microbursts, powerful downdrafts that hit the ground and spread violently outward in all directions. That kind of sudden shift can make landing a plane extremely dangerous. It's one of those weather patterns that seems peaceful from afar, but hides real turbulence beneath the surface. It may vanish before it lands, but virga's impact doesn't disappear so easily. Number 6. Kelvin-Helmholtz clouds. Let's talk about another rare cloud formation that's seriously impressive. These occur when two separate air layers, each moving at different speeds and densities, sweep past one another. When the conditions line up just right, the result is a sky that looks like a row of crashing waves, as if the clouds themselves are surfing the wind. You'll typically see these formations near jet streams, mountain ranges, or weather fronts where strong gusts are common. But be quick, they're incredibly short-lived and can disappear in just a few minutes. Blink, and you might miss it. What makes them even more fascinating is that they're formed the same way ocean waves are, except instead of rolling through water, they're gliding across the sky. It's one of the few moments where nature gives you a science lesson and a surreal view in the same breath. Seeing it once in your life is enough to make you question how clouds could ever be considered boring again. Number 5. Hair ice. This is just too unworldly. I mean, look at it. Found on rotting wood in cold, damp forests, this strange phenomenon produces silky white strands that look exactly like thin hair or spun sugar. Unlike frost, these threads don't form randomly. They're shaped by a fungus called Exidiopsis effusa, which lives in decaying wood. As moisture seeps out through the pores and hits freezing air, the fungus controls how the water crystallizes, spinning out long, thin filaments of ice up to 20 centimeters in length. The fungus also prevents the ice from clumping into solid sheets, keeping it soft, airy, and shaped like real hair. These icy strands are so fragile that the slightest touch causes them to collapse. They usually appear at night and vanish by morning unless conditions are perfect. Hair ice isn't dangerous or deadly. It's just one of nature's strangest pieces of art, quietly forming in forgotten woods and melting away before most people ever see it. Number 4. The green flash. Ever caught a sunrise just before it breaks across the horizon? If so, you might have seen a brief flash of green right at the top edge of the sun. No, it's not a ghost ship. This is what's called the green flash, and it's one of the most fleeting phenomena out there. It occurs because Earth's atmosphere bends sunlight and splits it like a prism. When the sun dips below the horizon, its shorter light waves, blue and green, get bent more than the reds and oranges. The blue scatters out of view, but for a second or two, the green lingers and flashes bright. It's rare, and if you blink, you'll miss it. People once thought it was a myth, or some sailor's tall tale. Now we know it's real, just ridiculously difficult to catch. Think of it as nature's blink and you'll miss it neon sign. If you ever see it, you'll never forget it, and probably never stop bragging about it either. Number 3. Ice gems on Hokkaido's coast. If you thought the most dazzling gems were locked away in glass displays, you haven't seen winter on Hokkaido's coast. In this part of Japan, something magical happens when chunks of ice break off from the Tokachi River and drift into the Pacific Ocean. The waves toss them around, smoothing them into massive, crystal-clear pieces that eventually wash up on Otsu Beach. Locals call it jewelry ice, and they're not exaggerating. These frozen gems scatter across the sand like nature's own treasure trove. At sunrise, they light up in orange and gold, glowing like molten glass. Later, they shift to pure, clear brilliance, looking more like oversized diamonds than ice. The effect is unreal, but it's completely natural. If you're planning a trip, the best time is mid-January through late February. Just make sure you don't do anything bad. Number 2, mammotus clouds. Let's keep talking clouds, because mammotus clouds are too weird not to mention. Their name comes from the Latin word mamma, meaning udder, and yeah, that tracks. These strange formations hang like pouches from the bottom of larger cloud systems, especially those tied to thunderstorms. Unlike most clouds, which form from rising air, mammotus clouds take shape when air sinks. That opposite motion gives them their bizarre texture, like rows of lumpy, sagging bumps stretching across the sky. You'll usually spot them during or after intense storms, and while they look dramatic, they're not dangerous. But their appearance signals that the atmosphere is wild and unstable, so staying indoors is probably smart. Their eerie glow, especially at sunset, can make the sky look downright surreal. Some people think they look like cotton, others like bruises in the sky. But whatever you see, you're not forgetting it. They're beautiful, strange, and somehow make even the scariest skies feel like a painting in motion. Number 1, Brinacle. I've shown you things that rise from the ocean. Now let's talk about what lurks beneath. You've heard of sea monsters, sunken ships, and whirlpools, but have you heard of a brinacle? It's nicknamed the ice finger of death, and the name's not an exaggeration. A brinacle forms under polar sea ice when super salty brine seeps from the ice and sinks because it's denser than the water around it. As it descends, it freezes everything in its path, literally. That's not some Marvel villain move. It's nature at its most ruthless. Starfish, urchins, whatever's nearby gets frozen solid as the brinacle creates a hollow tube of solid ice. Think underwater icicle, but deadly. It's like the sea suddenly reaching down to snatch life away. There is no heat, no warning, just instant entrapment. It's one of those terrifying reminders that nature doesn't need explosions or storms to be lethal. All it needs is cold, salt, and stillness to make something quietly horrifying and incredibly real. We really hope you found this video interesting. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe for more content like this. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.